Monday. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Another episode of Eat Your Feelings. I don't have any special talents for you guys this week. Juggling was awesome last week. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Staying on the theme of lemon, because I bought far too many lemons last week, I decided to do lemon raspberry scones this week. I ended up actually having a scone earlier today, and I thought, I could probably just make these. So here we are. Let's get baking. So to start today's recipe, you need cold unsalted butter, a half a cup. We're gonna cut this into 1/4 inch little pieces. We're actually gonna put it back into the fridge until we're ready to use it, because this is the key thing to scones, is having nice cold chilled butter. Another little tip that I will say at the beginning, if you are using fresh raspberries for the recipe, which I think is delicious, throw them in the freezer while you're doing all this stuff, because you also want these guys to be cold, then they break down less when you're mixing it with everything else. So if you're using frozen raspberries, that is also an option and amazing. If not, just chuck these bad boys in the freezer while you're cutting up all this stuff. Cool? Once you've cut your butter, get yourself a baking sheet, line it with some parchment paper, and then we're going to preheat the oven to 425 degrees. Bam. Really important that you don't forget your baking sheet in the oven for this, because like I said with the butter, everything needs to be chilled. Sweet. Oh, let's not put that on the oven. It said to keep it cold. Smart move. We're gonna mix all of our dry ingredients into a wonderful bowl. Get yourself a nice, hefty, large bowl. Dollarama specialty. Your ingredients for this step are 2 cups of all-purpose unbleached flour, a half a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 wonderful zested large lemon. Chuck all those in that bowl and give them a good stir. So once you've tossed all of the dry ingredients in your big bowl, we're gonna keep this handy for a second. If you happen to have one of these awesome pastry blenders, sweet, again, I got this at the dollar store, which was amazing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put all the cold butter in, we're gonna cut it into the dough. So if you don't have one of these, get 2 butter knives and you're gonna cut it just enough so that it covers the dough. You'll see the consistency. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. If not, drink more and just do it anyway. I'm hoping this is where I'm supposed to be. It looks a little bit crumbly. The butter seems to be mixed. We're going to add our raspberries now. Drizzle this heavy cream. So you need 3/4 of a cup. So I'm going to start with half a cup. 1/4. Boom. Keep going with our fork. Now we're just going to lightly toss this until it's all clumpy. We don't want to over mix too much. So now that the dough is all clumpy, take your nice clean hands and we're going to knead it until it's one big mass. Oh my God, those raspberries are cold. Okay, so putting them in the freezer is great. Oh my God, they're so cold. Ooh, jeez. All right, so I'm gonna take this. Oh, where's my pan? Oh, geez, bud. Ooh. Make sure you have your pan close by. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put this down on here. We're gonna squish this down to about 3/4 of an inch. So it's a bit sticky, but we're gonna have to cut this into like scones essentially, which, whatever, I don't think it really matters what they look like. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking rip pieces. Whatever. I give up. It is what it is. They look disgusting, but again, like 90% of the things I tend to make don't actually look that great, so we're just gonna have to bake them and see what happens. You're gonna let these bake for 12 to 15 minutes. I think I'm gonna do closer to 15 because they are a bit soggy wet. See what happens. I'm gonna check on these bad boys. I have a weird feeling they may not be cooked through, but we'll see what happens. Where's my toothpick? Okay, they're cooked through. That's half of a success. So as this was cooking, I was doing a time lapse. I decided to look up how to cut the scones, and I don't know why this didn't occur to me, but when you make the dough on here, put it in a circle, and then just cut it into triangles like a pizza. Way better than what I did. So, note to self, pizza shape, cut into pies, separate just a smidgen. They didn't actually mean separate them. You live and learn, but I do have scones. So, we're gonna let these guys cool. I made a quick glaze for them. Just added confectioner sugar and lemon juice. It's very easy. All right, so the scones have cooled down. They don't look like your average store-bought scones, but that's fine. So this is the icing consistency. You still want it to be thick. I didn't make that much because I'm only putting it basically on this one and then maybe one a little later. So we're just gonna drizzle. Okay, there was a lot of ups and downs with this recipe. I wasn't sure how it was gonna work, but let me tell you, it actually worked out really well. It's a lot less dry than most scones I've had, which is awesome. Still the same consistency. The raspberry shows through beautifully. Even though it was a disaster with how to cut it and they don't look super pretty, the taste is still amazing, which really is all that matters. So, thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Eat Your Feelings. You guys are awesome. Again, if you make any of these recipes, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to see it at eat_your_feelings_. Yeah, so see you next week. Cheers.